Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a new partnership that's looking to solve a massive headache for businesses everywhere, that feeling of being completely trapped by your own technology. We're going to explore how they're offering a path to be more secure, way faster, and maybe most importantly, free from that costly vendor lock-in.
You know, it's a story a lot of folks in IT know all too well. You pick a technology provider, you invest heavily, and before you know it, you're tangled up in these ridiculously steep licensing fees and rigid upgrade cycles. And switching feels pretty much impossible. It really is like being in a cage. It limits your ability to innovate and just drains your budget dry.
So it really boils down to a clear choice. On one hand, you've got the old way, that lockdown, super expensive system that just eats up resources. But on the other hand, there's a new way. An open, flexible approach that promises to slash costs, crank up performance, and seriously tighten your security, all at the same time. It's a completely different way of thinking.
So what's powering this new approach? Well, it's a pretty potent partnership. You've got Nexsan, who are absolute experts in enterprise storage, teaming up with Vates, a major champion for open source virtualization. Together, they are taking direct aim at those expensive, restrictive ecosystems.
So how does this all fit together? Well, think of Nexsan's Unity platform as your rock-solid foundation. It manages all your data, whether it's file, block, or object data, with that enterprise-level reliability you need. Then, Vates comes in with the virtualization brains, using their open-source tools like the XCP-ng hypervisor, which is basically the engine that runs all your virtual machines, to make everything hum. It's a combination that really delivers a one-two punch to the old way of doing things. Okay, but here's where this partnership really starts to shine. Its approach to security. This isn't just some feature they tacked on, it's right at the core of the whole solution. What they've done is build essentially a digital fortress to protect your most critical data from pretty much every angle. And they do it with what's called a defense-in-depth strategy. As you can see, there are 5 distinct layers working together. It kicks off with making your data literally unchangeable with immutable snapshots, and it goes all the way to physically isolating your backups from the network. The whole idea here is that if an attacker somehow gets past one layer, bam, there's another one right behind it waiting to stop them. It's a complete 360-degree approach to security. Let's just focus on that first layer for a second, immutable snapshots. I want you to imagine a perfect, untouchable copy of your data, completely frozen in time. That's exactly what this is. The second that snapshot is created, it's write protected. That means nothing and no one can change it, not even the nastiest ransomware attack. It is your absolute last line of defense, your ultimate safety net.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, all this security must slow things down, right? But that's where this solution totally flips the script. It's actually built to make your workloads run faster. And this is so important because it proves you don't have to choose between being secure and being fast. You can have both.
Okay, get this. Think about how long it takes to spin up a new virtual machine. With this setup, benchmarks are showing you can cut that time by up to 65%. So what does that actually mean? It means your IT teams can respond to new business demands in minutes, not hours. That is a massive competitive edge.
And it's not just about setting things up. For your really demanding applications like databases, the performance gains are just as impressive. We're talking about processing data up to 40% faster, and that translates directly into things your users will actually notice, like quicker search results and faster reports.
This chart just puts it all into perspective. Just look at the difference in how long it takes for an application to respond. We are talking about a drop to sub-millisecond levels. For anyone actually using the system, the experience is completely transformed. Everything just feels instant, snappy, and responsive.
All right, so we've got top-of-the-line security and incredible speed. But what about the money? And that brings us to what might be the single biggest benefit of all. Finally, breaking free from vendor lock-in and the huge savings that come with it. Right off the bat, the biggest hit is to those licensing fees. By jumping from those expensive proprietary models over to the open source phase stack, companies are seeing their yearly costs plummet by 50 to 70%. Seriously, just think about what you could do with that part of your budget freed up. And if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, the long-term savings are even better. Over a 5-year period, the total cost of owning this solution is typically cut by more than 45%. That isn't a one-time discount. That's a sustained, long-term financial advantage. So where are all these savings coming from? Well, it's not just one thing. First, you're not paying those complicated per-socket or per-core fees anymore. Critical features like backup and replication, they're included, not expensive add-ons. On top of that, you're getting more performance out of the hardware you already own, and the storage itself is more affordable. It's just a smarter, more efficient model all around.
And this quote from the official press release just sums it all up perfectly. The goal here is to liberate users from the limitations of vendor lock-in. The key word there is liberating. This is about more than just technology. It's about giving you back the control over your infrastructure, your budget, and your freedom to innovate.
So, what's the bottom line here? This partnership between Nexsan and Vates is offering a really powerful alternative to the old, painful way of doing things. You get rock-solid security, incredible performance, and real financial freedom. And that leaves us with a pretty provocative question to think about. If you could finally break free from vendor lock-in, what would you build?